Okay, so I did a video talking about what I would declutter if I had to declutter a palette from each brand that I own. And I already told you that I was gonna do the reverse, and I'm here to do the reverse to tell you which palette I would keep if I could only keep one palette per brand that I own. I did not include any brands where I only have one palette. There's not much to choose there. And if you haven't seen the first video, I did get inspired by Rachel Palmieri. She recently did this video and the reverse on her channel, and I thought it was super fun and I wanted to do it myself. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so an easy one for me was the Nabla Side by Side Nude eyeshadow palette. This has been my favorite Nabla eyeshadow palette for years, and it will probably stay that way for years and years and years. I mean, they don't release a lot of eyeshadow palettes. I'm kind of waiting for them to release another eyeshadow palette kind of in this, kind of like this, but different. Maybe a little bit more colorful. I would love to see it. But this is just such a favorite for me. I just have used it so much. It has so many different undertones. You can really mix and match with those tones. I really love the top two rows for really like easy everyday looks. This one a little bit more smoky. I really like the red undertone that they have in this palette. Like, it's not orangey, it's red. Love it. So many different textures in here. This is just such a favorite for me. I really love the setup. I really love the packaging. This was also one of the first videos I ever did on my channel, so I have really fond memories. But I don't feel like that makes me biased towards this palette. Like, this is actually a really good palette, and I would 100% keep this one. Alright, next up, of course, we have the collab between Angelica Nyqvist and Kaleidos. This is the Club Nebula palette. I had to hypothetically declutter a quad that I really love to be able to keep this in my life in the last video. This is just such a stunning palette. I feel like the whole execution of this and the whole vibe around this and just everything with this palette was executed perfectly. I mean, when I watched the reveal video for this palette, I almost cried, and I never almost cry about these kinds of things. Like, I'm weird with crying. I've never cried while watching a movie. I'm really weird. Like, I have emotions, but I don't know how to explain. I'm just weird. But this almost made me cry, and that is basically for me like I was crying for the whole day after I found out. This is just a gorgeous color story, beautiful formulas. I could never let go of this, and I did realize when picking all of these palettes that I really needed some dark mattes. I really needed some colors. Like, I do gravitate towards like cool tone neutrals, softer shades, pastel shades, and this really has some deepening up shades that I really need, some lighter shades that I really need in my collection. If I could only keep these eyeshadow palettes, I do need a little bit of color in my life, so definitely going with this one. Have you ever noticed that this is a door? Like, this is literally a door. You open the door to Club Nebula. I never realized that. Am I the only one that didn't see this? Alright, next, a brand that I've been really into, trying a bunch of palettes. I do have to say that this would be my number one and the one that I would keep. So this is from the Flower Nose Swan Ballet series, and this is the one in 03 Pink Swan. So we have pink shades in here, deepening up cool tone brown, and we have two gorgeous super shimmery wet look shimmers that I just love. This is a look that I need in my life if I need to restrict myself, which I will probably never really do with eyeshadow palettes. I mean, it's not really what I enjoy, restricting myself in that way, because I get bored. I need a variety. So if I were to restrict myself, I would have to have this look. Light pinky, soft but shimmery, a little bit of depth is needed, so I would definitely go with this one. But this was a tough choice actually, because I really love a lot of the Flower Nose eyeshadow palettes. And then the Smashbox eyeshadow palette that I would choose, I already told you in the other video, I only have two, and these are both pretty old. Probably I will declutter this pretty soon. I mean, it's had its life in my collection. It has served its purpose. I really liked to travel with this when I was like moving around a lot, traveling a lot. I was still a student. Now I'm living in my own house, living together with my boyfriend. It's not really necessary anymore. It's just really old. But I would keep this because the iridescent shades in here actually were really nice. Are really nice. don't really use them anymore. Like, I feel like next declutter this is gonna go. But these shimmers were actually really cute. I really enjoyed them a lot for like a party going out look. Alright, next up, Unearthly Cosmetics. Actually, this wasn't really a tough choice. I really love the Dreamer palette that they recently came out with. I did a video about this collection and I just love the color story of this. I love cool tones, I love cool tone neutrals, I love blues, I love purples. This is kind of like a toned down cool tone neutral but still a little colorful palette. I've done so many good looks with this. Really enjoy the formulas in here. This is just an amazing palette that I can still see myself doing a lot with. And I think I'm gonna be ranking this pretty high in my yearly ranking of palettes. Like, I'm very excited about this palette. Would definitely keep this. This is really up my alley. A little deep, like it goes a little deep, but if you just use this as kind of like a liner, if you just use it sparingly a little bit as a deepening up shade, you can get some softer looks as well. I really like this palette, and the holographic shade in here is amazing. Okay, I chose this one with pain in my heart, and I'm still a little unsure, but I think I need to choose this one. So I really love Glaminatrix Cosmetics. They are one of my favorite eyeshadow brands and brands in general. They haven't really done a lot of things next to eyeshadow. They do have some liquid blushes now. Haven't purchased those. I don't know if I'm gonna, like, still thinking. I feel like that is something that would combine with an order with something else, but I feel like that pastel palette wasn't really my color story. I felt like it was a little harsh in the undertones. I like something a little bit more like soft and rosy, like not too light, but something a little, I don't know, just a little soft. I don't know how to explain it, but I just saw it and I was like, not my perfect pastel palette. And I just got the Oden's Eye Spring Dragon that I'm wearing today, and I feel like this is really, I'm getting sidetracked. This is really what I mean. When I want a pastel palette, that is what I mean. So I didn't buy those. But favorite eyeshadow brand, The Rich Romantic. I mean, this is just really nice. And we can do kind of like pinky looks, rosy looks, green, kind of like purpley that leans a little brighter. Really nice shifty shades in here. Really love Intoxicating as an inner corner highlight. So many options here. I have done so many looks with this. I really love. The other option that I would never want to declutter is the Nearly Natural palette. I mean, that palette is just so beautiful. So many beautiful shades. It has so many different undertones, beautiful textures, really easy to work with. But I feel like in this selection, I already kind of have options for those shades, and I felt like this would add more. So I did go with this one, but like with pain in my heart. Not that I don't love this one, because I love this one a lot. It's just that I wouldn't want to miss the Nearly Natural palette. Alright, Kiko Milano was kind of a tough one. This is the Beauty Essentials All Shades of Eyeshadow palette. This is not available anymore. This was a limited edition last year, I believe. And this is in 02 Earth size. So this has some beautiful mattes, beautiful shimmers. I really like the quality of this palette. I always like the look that I come up with. This one is kind of like leaning more of a light yellow. It's not super golden. It has a really nice undertone. We have some pinky shades in here as well. This is great quality. This is a great quality Kiko Milano eyeshadow palette. There are some others though that I would really like to keep. So this was a tough one, but I feel like this gives me more of a full look in comparison to some of the others that don't give me that much versatility. But there's still a lot that I would like to keep. Alright, Martina Cosmetics. So I have 3 little eyeshadow palettes from Martina Cosmetics from the Planet collection. If I could only keep one from that collection, it would for sure be the cool tone one. This is the one in Mercury Retrograde. I'm not gonna pronounce the French name. I'm not even gonna start. But this is a really beautiful quality little palette. I've done some really nice looks with this that I really enjoy. The black I would never use, but I would use these kind of like cool toned-ish mattes with the shimmers that I really like. It's just a very flattering, easy look with this. And I would definitely keep this one. This is just very up my alley. Then another cool tone neutral palette. If I could keep one of the ColourPop palettes, it would be that's Taupe. This is just my most used ColourPop palette. I feel like I really need this in my life. This is the perfect tones of neutral for me and my undertone. I don't like to go too gray, even though officially that would suit me. I feel like it can get a little harsh. This is what I like. Taupe, brown with a really gray undertone, like kind of grayy. I would really love to keep this one. I do feel like by picking this one, I am kind of skipping out on some colors that I would maybe like to have in my collection. It would get a little tougher to get all of the colorful looks, and I would like to have all of the options, but I just couldn't not pick this one. Alright, the GlamLite Ice Cream Dream eyeshadow palette. This is the first eyeshadow palette that I ever tried from GlamLite, and it is huge. It has so many pastel shades. I would pick this one from GlamLite because I do need some colorful shades, and there are a lot of colorful shades in here. We also have some deepening up shades. We have some more rosy brown shades that I would also love to have in my life. I mean, here I have a lot of cool tones. This gives me a little bit of warm tone as well, so I feel like this really gives me some versatility. There are a lot of other GlamLite palettes that I also really like, but I feel like this I would really need to round out the collection. I did realize when picking this selection that this one is not my perfect pastel palette. Like, it's a really good palette, but it doesn't have all the pastel shades that I personally would need, and it doesn't really have any kind of like super light shade. It doesn't give a lot of contrast. I feel like if I could cheat a little bit and I could like swap out this one for the Spring Dragon palette, then this would really round out the collection. I mean, I do need some light yellow. I do need that, and I feel like I'm kind of missing that. The GlamLite palette doesn't have it, so I would choose that one, but it wouldn't be like the perfect choice, I feel. But because I have to pick one from each brand, here's where this is what we're ending up with. But I wouldn't be like 100% happy. Like, I'm gonna show you the rest of the palette. We're not done yet. I'm gonna show you the rest of the palettes. Don't get me wrong, but this is kind of like the thought process I had around this palette. Like, it was the best one from GlamLite. It was the best I could do to add those colors and to add some pastels, but I feel like it didn't really give me everything that I wanted. All right, this one I definitely chose for the colors. I had to be really practical at this point because I love so many Onus eye palettes and I would love to keep most of them. I really love this brand, their eyeshadow formula. I have had like 4 different palettes in this selection before I ended up here, and I still feel like I wish I could just merge all of those palettes together and just keep them all in this hypothetical situation. I'm glad that it's not real, but this is one of my favorites from Oden's Eye. It's with Angelica Nyqvist. It's the Little Ghost eyeshadow palette. This just has really great blues. It has coral shades. You can get a bright purple look. I need to have the option for a bright purple look for sure. And then we also have some really nice deepening up shade. And then Skeleton is a really nice pastel. You can use it in a corner. You can really like create some depth, some dimension with this. I don't know, I don't think that this would be my #1 Oden's Eye palette, but it is one that is needed in this selection to give me the options, to give me the colors. Like, another one that I thought about is the Giant Wolves palette by Annette and Oden's Eye, but I feel like the shades I kind of have it in like the Dreamer palette. I kind of have these more like grungy, almost, but grungy cool tones. So even though this is one of my favorite Oden's Eye palettes, I couldn't choose this one. Like, it wouldn't give me everything that I need. And the same goes for the Christmas Eve palette. I really wanted to pick this one also because it has light yellows. I love light yellow eyeshadow. It's just so good. I feel like it's really fresh. I love it. I just love light yellow. We have some blues in here. We have some cool toned neutrals, but I feel like this wouldn't add enough. So I decided not to go with that one as well, but I just wanted to like show you. I just wanted to show you the other options. Like, you understand how it got here. I do really love this palette, but I feel like if I wouldn't look at it as a whole collection, I don't know if this would have been the one. but it's just so difficult. It's so difficult. Alright, then What's a Beauty. This is a brand where I have 2 eyeshadow palettes from, and the one that I would keep is the Dragon Eye palette. I got this in PR from the brand, which is really cool. I was so thankful to have gotten this. This is a beautiful color story, and it has stunning shimmers. I mean, these are shifty, these are shiny, they don't need any help, they don't need a spritz, they don't need a glitter glue, these just look amazing. And you can go a little deeper with this palette, you can go a little bit more like mysterious. I really love the shifts we have here. I would definitely keep this. Like when I tried this, I was like, okay, I'm gonna follow this brand. I'm gonna be like looking at what they're doing a little more close up, because this is really nice. Alright, then Catrice Fall in Colors. This brand, I've tried a lot of eyeshadow palettes and I've decluttered a lot of eyeshadow palettes, but this is an eyeshadow palette that I have really liked since I got it. It has really nice sparkly shimmers. It also has some satin shimmers. It has kind of like, for Catrice palette, a lot of options. I mean, they really did a good job here, and I haven't seen anything like this from them since then. Like the packaging is amazing and the color story is amazing. You can go a little more cool toned, a little bit more warm toned. We have so many different shimmers in here, different formulas. This is a really nice palette, and I would definitely keep this one. And then Lunar Beauty. It was tough. It was really tough, and for a moment there I was sure I was gonna go for the Nude Prism palette, because I really love the Nude Prism palette, but I feel like this gives you a little bit more versatility. So this is a Full Fantasy Lunar Beauty and Laura Lee Los Angeles collab, and this is just such a beautiful neutral palette, but it has pops of colors, it has different options. You have greens, you have purples, you have a blue shift, you have different formulas in the shimmers. I would definitely miss the row of neutral super shine shimmers in the Nude Prism palette. I feel like this gives me just a little bit more options. I have to be a little practical. I have to think about what it would mean to have this type of collection. So I would really enjoy having this in my life. I mean, you have cool tones, you have more warm tones, but not too warm. Like no warm tones here that I wouldn't wear. This is just such a beautiful palette, and it has been a huge favorite of mine since I got it. It does hurt a little bit to only choose one from Lunar Beauty. I really love this brand. I buy Lunar Beauty for myself. Unearthly Cosmetics, Owen's Eye, Lunar Beauty. I will buy a lot of their things nowadays. Like, not a lot of people will watch it, but I will have fun making the video. Juvia's Place was an easy one. This is the Blushed Rose eyeshadow palette. I really love it. Recently did another look with this. Every time I use it, I just love it. It's so good. I love the unexpected pop of kind of like peachy orange. I love the matte shades that we have in here that are a little rosy. This one can go a little deeper. This is a really wet look shine shimmery eyeshadow, cool toned light pink. Beautiful. This is beautiful. I would keep this. I would probably also keep this if I did like a top 10. When did I last do a top 10? I would probably keep this. I really love this one. This is a true favorite, stood the test of time kind of eyeshadow palette. And then we have the last eyeshadow palette of the selection. This is the Gal on Jupiter. First Gal on Jupiter eyeshadow palette. The remixed eyeshadow palette by GlossGods Cosmetics. Like, this is quite a name. It's a little confusing. So this is a cool toned, kind of smoky, but not gray, like not too gray eyeshadow palette with stunning shimmers. Like the shimmers in this are out of this world, which is really fitting with the theme. The mattes are okay. I don't mind them, but the shimmers though, these are amazing. It also is mostly shimmers. We have a beautiful holographic shade. We have different formulas. I really love Hubble Hues. It is kind of like pinky lilac to a brighter lilac shift. This is a beautiful palette. I really was so impressed when I tried this. I also really love the new Neutrals remixed and the Vintage remixed. Was that the name? I really like those as well, but this really like blew me off my chair. Really surprised me when I swatched it. I was just like amazed. So that's why I'm going with this one. I wouldn't want to declutter the other ones, but if I had to, you know, I would do this. Alright, this is gonna be everything for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe. And let me know in the comments which of these is your favorite eyeshadow brand, or do you maybe have another eyeshadow brand that you think I should have more palettes from, or you think I should try. And yeah, then we'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!